Welcome. This is Grammy Queen, and if you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. Now, I'll be doing just mini well, bite-sized presentations now just to help us really digest certain aspects like for instance words that has impacted and shaped our lives so profoundly that we have not taken the time to really um, see the depth of that impact that has been in our makeup. And so I'm going to begin with a word that for me has been so profound, really, and it's the word of Jesus. Well, Jesus used this word. I wouldn't say he, but it was a word that it is a word that has such great impact, of course, on everyone. So I'm looking at the words that begins with the letter B and see what happens as we go along. We have seen how B has had, it's like a bee, all these sweetness that, this liquid form just flowing through the tubes. And of course, when I say tube, oh my, I've got a eureka. The words, of course, through all tubes. It's just like speech, like words flowing out of our mouth like honey. So there we are. Um, let's see about those words. So the B, Believe. In fact, I'm going to have a list of names or words that derive from that. But the reason that this word caught my eye, like I have just finished one of the presentations showing that the, the name Eve is in everything. And we also learned that God said, or whatever, after he had finished his work, he saw that everything he did was good. Everything. Oh, and of course, Eve is in everything. So why over so many thousands of years have Eve had to take the knock for um, eating an apple, which never really happened? Oh, this really rhyme now. Perhaps it's meant to be so. And the reason why I am pointing this out, as I have done before, that Eve, Eve, we saw that the scriptures, perhaps the words are really, uh, they are true. Eve ate, let's just assume, yes, it is true. Eve ate, and she ate it. I think it is it, or ate of the tree, but let's say it, for instance, now. So 9 and 2 is 11. Now this 11 would 11 coincide with the name Jesus. So this would mean that Eve had, after had ate it, that meant she was on same par of what Jesus, the frequency, the energy, the numerical value of Jesus would be the same. Okay, so Eve ate it. We also have seen that the word ate also 1, 2, and 5 equals 8. So there we are convinced as well. If Eve ate it, okay, so it's 8, and if you wanted to add the 2, that would be 10. So that would mean that Eve would be on a numerical value of 1. Okay, let's just assume that that is the case. But let's look at the fact that we were told, and her eyes or their eyes were open. So the word eye, this is why we have this eye, and this is what has led us to this transformation. So if we have E, Y, E, 5 and 5, 10 and 7, which is Y here, that becomes 17. 1 and 7 is 8. And this is the eye that I am saying that Eve had was open. Adam also had his eye open. So there we are. I felt it was necessary to clarify this. But let's look at the word believe. And let's just see. B-E-L-I-E-V-E. There we are. Let's use a darker pen now. Oh, okay, there we are. So numerical value for believe, first of all, is this. Well, we know there's a lot in the B, but let's go on face value, as the word face also is presented in sacrifice. So we go in, it's as if that word face was there to just tell us, look at the face of things. It seemed to be, what purpose would that face be representing in the word sacrifice? And actually, it was the first word that came out on my list for some reason. So face, it's like it's saying, look at me. Yeah, okay, I'm seeing you. All right. So it's 2, 5, 3, 9, 5, 4, 5. So we see here, even with Eve, as we've said before, that Eve was meant to go to 5. Eve is here. The 5 takes you into that new. It's number 5, which equals the same as the word Christ. So here we have seen 2 correlations with Eve and Christ. The word Christ, 3, 8, 9, 9, 1, 2. Now this is the 2, the T here, that is the same symbol of Christ. In the word Christ, this is used in the tube that I have just done the presentation on, the BKT, where Christ had the Last Supper. It is the place of agreement in the high chamber. This is where we started with this interest. It's the high chamber. I wanted to know about what was in the high chamber, what the bees are doing in the chambers, what honey is being done there. And of course, we knew there was the breaking of bread. Is it any wonder, for instance, I am wondering, is it any wonder that Satan at one time, could it be after the Last Supper? I would have to check this out. When Satan had said to Christ, if you are the Son of Man, why don't you turn those stones into bread? And I think it was at that point he said, get thee behind me, Satan. Because he was moving into another dimension, Christ was. He was moving into the sacrifice place, which is on here. So number 5, he was here. In the end, this is the part of the agreement, the BKT, which ends on 6 here. Of course, E is also there because E is in everything. Eve is in everything, and even here, Eve is being reflected here as a witness. So we can see the connection with the Last Supper and Eve. We can see that T also ends in that Christ, in the word Christ, Christ. So that T is still in here. What is going on? And if I've got this wrong, I really would say, okay, I've got this wrong. But I want to see what's happening here. Because as I say, I want to grow. I want to know. So there we are. We see Eve comes into this place. Of course, the Christ spirit would be Christ. So Christ is moving about here. But however, it still coincides in that fact that Eve ate, came to eat, which here we see that, okay, Eve didn't, it doesn't show that she paid, of course, in fact, I'm going to change this, because if it was said that by the sweat of your brow you shall live, they did go to number 9 in the east, because the scriptures say to you that God sent them to the far east of the garden. So in the east is number 9. Why would they, if they were able to go to the garden, pay their dues here? They paid their dues. It's the same significance of what Christ had done. Dying on the cross, Eve had done the same. Adam and Eve had done the same. What is going on? How many times must they be paying for what sin? What is the sin? Because their eyes were open, they ate of the fruit, and their eyes was open, and it said that they would be like God. Of course, the word God, the word God is also 8. It's also 8. That's 7, 6, and 4. That's 10, 17. It's the direct 17. Direct numerical value as the eyes. The eye. Now the eye open. Now if it was eyes, of course, 1, 8. Just say for instance that they both were included in eyes and it was 1 to 8. It would also mean that they would have to go to the number 8. They would also need to be presenting themselves from 1 to 8, which is number 8. And then 1 to 8, 1 plus 8 would be 9, where they pay their inland revenue dues. So what is going on? Okay, so the purpose of this, in fact, was that to see how many words could derive from the word believe, but I have been going on with, okay, so we see, and there's the thing, because Christ is always going on about believe, 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 believe. If you believe, you can move the mountain. These people who have been using this template, let's call it, should I call it template? Because I've been calling my things template. I wish I could get some other word. They have been using this method, because this is the M word again. It's the M word that really does it. So they have been using this method to control, enslave, victimize, and these are words that I didn't really think that I would be using again somehow. But I have to recognize that I am part of the whole. And for whatever reason, I know I have a choice whether to keep quiet or say something or not say something. But I am believing there is a profound and divine reason why I have been exposed to this. So of course. And I think I have been in preparation for this somehow without knowing or being aware of that fact. So, just to go on now, so believe Eve is, let's do Eve. Eve is here. Eve. And we know the word Eve is also 14. 14 equals 1 and 4 is 5. Okay. So we have Bel. Now, in here, we have talked about Bel, but really, Bel is of 2 L's. But I think we should still have Bell hair because it's Bell Eve, or Bell Eve, I don't know, but let's take Bell hair. Maybe there is no reason, or we could let's stick the two bells. Okay, so this is 5 and 2, 7 and 6 is 13. 6 and 6, 12, 13. Yes. So the number 13 has been the number that has been correlating very well with the numerical value of Revelation. This is so the bell sound has been what is in direct correlation with Revelation, but however, it's open, so the sounds can escape or whatever is happening, whatever is happening. But of, there is that. So when we have 1, 2, 3, we see if we were to close this is the trick. When we close it, there's 2 hidden between 1 and 3 because now that is 4. Now, or if it was 13, then you could say 10 hidden in there. So when it is close to a B, there is all sorts going in there. All right. And of course, this is the 2 chambers, the high chamber that Christ was talking about. And that was where I was like a dog with a bone with this high chamber. Okay. Now, what is in the middle of this word here? 3 letters in the middle here. That is interesting. Lie. Mm-mm-mm. What is going on here? And Eve is also in everything in this word saying to us, you know what? There's been a big conspiracy somewhere. There's been a big lie somewhere. So 3, this is 9. 9 and 3, 12. 12 and 5 is 17. Wow. 17. 1 and 7 equals 8. So we see even with the word lie, or perhaps it might be fair to say that in everything there is the polarities. Because I'm saying that because the word lie has been so entrenched in me, I am recognizing that to be something false and something really bad. Not to lie down, mind you, which it could be to lie down, or perhaps in this lie, it probably saying, giving an indication because he is in everything. Now she's revealing to me the lie is like this. So, in actual fact, what Eve is saying, if this is the lie, these eyes here, they don't see what is really true. So when she ate the apple, and opened her third eye, we say an apple because that's what we've been told. I say it was a mango, but who knows? Who knows? So, when she opened her third eye, here, she could see everything, and their eyes were open. Open. So, that is another thing we see. So, we see that here we have the 8, here we have, or on Bell, what did we finish on? 13. Let's see. 13, which is the number of Revelation. You get there. So 13 basically is 4. 4. So we see a direct bell and line. There is, they are both feminine. So that is interesting. And we see the word be, which is the B word. The big word has been really doing a lot. Here, the B word. So 2, and this is 7, which is meant to be man's number. 6 days of creation, 1 day of rest, and reviewing his work. So that comes to 7. Now, let's see. I'm wondering if there was anything we could do with VE or BE. B, oh, I was going to say beehive because this L was looking like an H. Okay, but I don't know, it seemed to be wanting to say there is a beehive here, but oh, never mind. So, and leave. This is the most important word. One of the most important words. L-I, live, live, live. Hey, so 3, 9, 9 and 3, 12, 12 and 4, 16, 16 and 5, 21. So 2, 1. 2 and 1 is 3. Let's put 3 here. This is the 3. This is the 3, the M that have been messed with, that has been played with when we are doing in the BKT. This is the 3. That 3 has given, people have found a 3 that is flexible, that has given them that freedom to do as they please. That's the 3. Okay. L-E. I'm just trying to see what other words can come from this. Okay. Um, leave, leave. I'm sure there are more words, but okay, we'll just stick to this for now. And so, but we are seeing that the 3 is here. So it's a word when Christ said, if you believe. So we see the 4, as we have talked about in the 13 and the 4, and all what 4 represents is there, and the 3 is in the B. This is where we are getting this no, it's in, this is in here we are getting 3, because the B is 7. That means the B is complete. And that's why after being having the 7, of course, they are quite happy to just, because 7 is GPS. Sorry, I keep saying GPS is GPY, Gypsy. Yeah, Gypsy Journey. Okay, GPY. So, Gypsy Journey. That's what they do after they've done all their busy bee thing. But this is what we all are working towards, to live. And there we see, this is another thing that I came across in another presentation, that the number 21, it wasn't in this word, but the number 21 had transpired. This is the amount of days that you need to condition someone to create a new habit or break a new habit. So we see how E is in the B. We have seen how the only word that is not, or letter, sorry, that is not in leave or in the B, of these 4 letters, the only letter that is not in the B, does not fit in the B, is the V. But I am also believing that the V, as we have seen, also serves as a lever, like one we have done on another presentation. So it's as if there would be a, a link here that you could move it to lock, to close, to open. That would serve a bit like the T. So we see that the B can be here, the L can be here, the I can be here, but the V is that we would need to have, or if we, of course, the V, we can open it and stick it here. If it's open, it can be fitted here. So we can see how all of these would fit in that container, that tube. People would be living in that container, that tube on the BKT. The BKT. The BKT. Okay, so this is 26 minutes. I'm sure I would love to do more more words from this because I'm believing there are more words from this. But also, oh, there's a word in there that tells you everything. So this is another word. This is the word is eel. E E L. Eel. You know what that is? It's like a snake. Of course, people eat eel, but this is like a snake. So you see, E or again is appearing in everything. And that is what, excuse me, that is what Eve is revealing. So in all these words, we have had E revealing herself here from Revelation. Thank you, Revelation. Okay. So, this is interesting. This is really interesting. Yes, yes. Something tells me there's another wonderful word. Oh, but we haven't done the numerical value for EEL, so that is 10, and there it and 3 is 13. There we go again. And isn't that now? That is important. So if this is 13, 5 and 5, 10, and 3, 13. We see what's happening here again. We see that bar. So this is what they play with. They have been playing with. You could turn it either way, an M. You could make it a W. You could make it a 3. You could make it an E, sorry. And by the time you are in this number 4, by the time you're in number 4, going because you had come from the tube, you started in the tube, the BKT, you started in the tube, and you have got some freedom, you put it this way, because actually this actually equals freedom. Number 3 actually equals freedom. But what freedom have you got when you're in a tube here? So you go out, and of course, there is a presentation or representation of this freedom, and of course, you get onto it, and you go, you take your luck, you go through the development, but you say you were in a tube, and then you go to a wide city, and you're exploring all this area, nothing much that you can relate to, or you try. But however, you stumble and you get to this new dimension. In that new, there is excitement, there is also fear. You become the fox because when you're in Christ, you are a new creature, the fox. You might get hunted down. You might be smart on occasion, although there is a T here in Revelation that is reminding you that of that T here You might freak out on your gypsy journey before you can ever get a chance to make it to high quarters. The cycle goes on because this is what you know. There is a natural tendency for us to go to the what we are familiar with. It is the same principle responsible for people staying in abusive relationships. Then they even go as far as defending the abuser. Oh, it's my fault. I love him because they have been conditioned here in that tube. Okay, so we shall keep our eyes open. Oh, okay. You changed the hairstyle today, but we'll keep our eyes open, wide open. Okay, so because we are Eve, we are in everything. Well, I hope you have found this insightful. I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you like this presentation, remember to click the like button and share because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self-full love. In the meantime, stay blessed, stay bright, and stay ignited. Namaste. And spill over with love. Oh, there's hope.